Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first edition of our take on Days of Our Lives. My name is Jonathan. I'll be your host today, and joining me for the inaugural episode, we have Jenna. Hey, Jenna,
Hello.
how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Ready to talk about a show that's worthy of being podcasted?
Oh, so excited.
It's
There's so much.
so much to talk about. So, I kind of just want to dive in to it, but before we do that, real quickly, kind of talk about your day's history. Like, what are some of like your
Oh,
favorite memories or favorite characters, or why are you still watching it?
okay. Well, I literally been watching Days of Our Lives my entire life. Like I can say that like hand to God. Like my mom saw like the first ever episode of Days and she would like come home from school and watch it, and if she couldn't be home, she'd have my grandmother take notes about what happened.
That's awesome.
Like honestly, like I remember watching the show with my mom when I was a very small child. Like I'm 35. Like, I have been watching the show for a very long time. It's my show. It's like my chicken soup for the soul. Like, it's Days of Our Lives. Like, it's always been a constant in my life. Like, my sister would, like, when I went through basic training, would, like, write me synopsises and letters
That's so
about what
cool.
happened. So that, like, it was for days in General Hospital back when it was good. And just so I would know what was going on. So that way, when I turned on my TV, it wasn't like this. Wait, what? What?
That's
But
super
yeah,
cool.
I've been watching the show literally my entire life.
Nice. Who's your favorite character?
Oh, Samantha Jean Brady.
Nice.
She is just a Hellcat, and I mean, honestly, I was a messed up child because I always wanted her to win. Like, when she married Austin in Paris in Carrie's wedding dress, like, the ten-year-old inside of me cackled so hard. Like, you have no idea. Like, I was like, "This level of petty is what I aspire to be when I'm older."
That's super cool.
Like,
So I didn't see. So when I started watching Days was '06. So like I didn't see Sammy during her
oh,
prime.
in her heyday? Oh, it was great.
So getting to see Gabby
Yes,
has
she is
been
like this
awesome.
like generation's Gabby or Sammy. She is.
So I'm super excited to see it, and I'm enjoying every moment of it. So awesome.
It's great.
Very cool. Well, let's kind of dive into a little bit of news first. Only big piece is the terrifying TV Line article stating that our favorite show might be axed, but not really. So basically, what the article was telling us is something that we kind of already knew, that the cast
Mhm.
and crew of Days of Our Lives were going to be taking a production hiatus for a couple months. The big shocking piece of news for fans was the fact that the actors are going to be taken off contract. The important part to know about the story is, unlike, say, All My Children or other examples in the past, the cast and crew knew about this well ahead of time. They weren't
Yeah.
blindsided, they weren't going into work and shocked by it. They knew that this was the process, this is what was going to happen. And that piece is such a big difference for me, because now I'm okay with it. If the cast and crew knew about it and they were prepared for it, cool. Now, does that not mean I'm still terrified for the show? Yes. No. Like I'm sorry. I'm worried because this isn't a move a safe show makes. This isn't a move that a show makes when they know for sure they're guaranteed renewal. They're just doing this to just cuz it is a budgetary concern. It is something that is kind of worrisome. But I ultimately think, given the way that the network's standing behind the time jump, the way that everybody's promoting the show, the fact that this rumor mill drove up so much press for the show, I don't feel like they're going to cancel it this go around.
No, I don't. And I mean, it's always a nail biter at the end of the year when it comes to days, like it always is for all of us. And then we get days been renewed for another season, as they say, and you're just like, yes, bless, you know? I mean, I was shocked. I mean, don't get me wrong, like by the headline, what do you mean they've all been removed from contract? Like, what? You know, like that was me at first. I think like my initial thing was, what the, you know, F
Yeah,
bomb, you know, like what is going on, you know? And then, like, the more I thought about it and, like, the more stuff that kind of, like, came out, like, yes, it is a budget thing, and I get that. Like, I get that, and I understand that. Um, it is kind of scary because, like, what if certain people don't wanna come back? But then again, like, you have to think if they knew about it ahead of time. Like, I can't think that, like, they don't have like, I wanna say, like, parameters, like, already going on with their Asia, like, there's not, like, active talks between the show and the actors, like, if it gets renewed, like, we'll get back to you with, like, a ballpark, right? But
Yeah.
right now we're thinking the ballpark is, between this and this, you know?
I've
But
gotta think that at
they
least
have
a
to.
lot of people are already set up and ready to be done because, like
Yeah,
I said, why were they gonna sit down and wait? Because I think that this allows them to trim some fat. It allows
yeah,
them to the thing that this does most is I think it's gonna allow them to renegotiate guarantees.
yeah. I
You
think it's
know,
gonna renegotiate certain people's contracts, maybe up certain people that weren't making as much that now are more relevant to the show than they were when their contract was initially signed. You know
yep.
what I'm saying? Like that, and it gives them like if everyone signs on, it gives them more time,
And
like with the show.
I think it
You know,
also allows them to then reset like who's gonna be their major players.
mhm.
Like who are we going to give 3 year contracts to? Who are we going to give 1 year? Who are we going to kind of make known that these are the stars of the show? And
Yeah.
I've got faith. It doesn't mean I'm not scared. No, I'm terrified.
I'm
But
always terrified.
it's Dave. We're always going to be terrified unless we
Well,
get
that
like a
and like
3 year renewal. If we get 3 year renewal,
oh god, if they did that, I would be over the moon, but they're not gonna do that. Come on,
no,
Jonathan.
I know
It'll be a year.
it'll be a year,
But,
but
like, the thing that, like, I think NBC and, like, I've heard in, like, multiple reports, like, NBC wants to continue the show. Well, yeah, they do, because when they canceled Another World, they tried 2 other soaps to take its place, and they both bombed, you know? Like, this is the only soap they have left that has, like, a legion of fans.
don't be
Like,
talking about my passions like that.
no, I loved Passions, I loved Sunset Beach, but they weren't even on for 10 years.
Passions almost got there.
Well, almost got there.
Almost.
But do you know what I'm saying? Like, Days has
Okay,
been on the air for over 50 years. Like,
fair.
there would be I mean, you think there's backlash now when people think it's gonna get canceled and we were trending on Twitter for however long it was, you know? Like, imagine if you canceled it. Like, I already have issues with NBC with their primetime programming and canceling my damn shows. You freaking cancel Days of Our Lives, NBC, hand to God, I will never watch your show, anything on your I will like, Sunday Night Football is even off the table for me, and I love sports.
Well, I don't think we have that to worry about, but
Like, I will riot.
we will
Let's just put it that way.
we will see as the time goes on. But next year's going to be the 55th anniversary of the show.
Yes.
I think, dude, can you imagine Ron Carlivati getting to write the 55th anniversary?
Oh,
I'm
it
just
would
saying,
be so good.
read it.
It's gonna be so
It's
good.
going to
It's
be.
going
We're
to
speaking
be
it into
so good.
existence. So
It will happen.
let's just kind of dive into this time jump.
Ugh,
It's
so
been
good.
months of
It's
anticipation.
been 84
It's
years.
been
It's been so
so much
long.
conversation has been leading up to this, and it's here. And you know what?
Yes.
It was everything I wanted it to be
It was so good.
and more. So
And they haven't even, like, really dug into everything yet either.
they've dug
Like, this is only
into
the first
1%
week. Like,
of
this is
it.
not guys, this is not even, like, every crazy thing that's going to happen. This is literally, like, the tip of the iceberg.
So, what was your favorite moment, or favorite shocker, or favorite whatever? What was your
Oh,
favorite
the
thing of the time jump?
Lonnie being a nun.
That
Lonnie and Kristen being nuns, I was like, "Excuse me? What?"
so I knew that Lonnie and Kristen were going to be working together.
Yes.
That's
Didn't know they
that's
were
it.
gonna be, married to God while doing
Didn't
it.
didn't know we were in a nunnery,
Did you
and
see
ugh,
did you see that, interview that Sal did when she was talking about Lonnie becoming a nun?
no,
And she was basically like, she's sitting I think it was Michael Fairman, like, she's on one side, the one's on the other side, and she's like, "Yeah, Lonnie's basically like, if Eli's love of her life, if she can't have Eli, she might as well just shut it down and give herself to God." I cried, I was laughing so hard. I was like, Eli Grant is that good, y'all. He is that good. You don't have him anymore, you give yourself to Jesus.
Jesus. Well, you know what? It's true. I think that was the biggest like shocker for me. And
It
the thing
was.
I loved the most about it though, the sets.
Oh God, yes.
We got money. We got paint. They brought out the new paint
I mean,
buckets
it
and the
doesn't take
brushes,
much.
and they put out some tables and some lighting. Now, I will say, Ashley pointed this out when we recorded
Yeah,
TV Source. Um, can they get some hope, some lights for Princess Gina?
I know,
Um,
because I was like, she's painting that picture, but it's so dark in there. And then I was like, well, there's like a really nice window, but that doesn't give you a lot of light.
it wasn't. It gave her a little natural light, like when she
Like
told
maybe like Gina
Steffi.
doesn't need
Uh,
glasses like Hope does,
I I
to
don't
look at stuff
know.
really close.
It
Like, I
just
don't know, maybe brainwashing does something with
it was
your
interesting,
2020.
but I was like, yeah, yeah,
But
well,
whatever. That's
whatever.
like a little pet peeve.
I
Like
we can ignore that because your Gina's got her blonde little streak
my
back in her
bitch
hair.
has her blonde back.
Oh,
Oh,
so
I
good.
love her. I've been a fan of Gina since 1998. Like for real. She is my girl. I
Well,
love Princess Gina.
I'm just excited about her. So I guess let's start there then. Let's talk about Gina first. So she's schemed her way into making this whole time jump happen by pushing Jennifer off the parapet where she belonged,
Which was so
and
good.
crashed onto the ground. And then has like she's really bad at murdering people this time around.
Dude, right?
Um, you've had a year to kill
A
Jennifer,
year.
but she said something in dialogue like, "I thought I shouldn't have believed Kayla when she told me that she'd never
Why
wake up."
would you believe Kayla?
Kayla's the worst. You literally
She
just
is
go ahead and kill her. Like that's it.
literally like the worst doctor ever.
Ugh,
Like,
she's never right about anything
and I feel
ever.
bad for Mary Beth Evans, but it's just like Kayla is a bad doctor. I'm sorry. Like she was gonna harvest Kate's organs, and granted, she got like the life
Well,
shot back in her or whatever. And they're about to wheel her into surgery, and she just wakes up, and it's just like, wow, oof, okay.
like
Like, yeah, Kayla's the worst. And Gina should have literally like smothered her with a pillow at like 2 o'clock in the morning when no one was there,
that's it.
and just been
Just
done with
called it
it.
a day. And then like, oh no, I don't know what happened. I was asleep.
I
Then
mean,
all these
can't she have
alarms
a
woke me up.
minion? I mean, Princess Gina has minions. Don't tell me she doesn't.
Hmm.
But that's
Um,
fine.
But you know, that's fine. So she's then, meanwhile, worming her way into John's house. Um, so before we keep going on, Kristen Alfonso is having the time of her life,
Oh God, and you can
and
tell.
I love it because
Oh,
Hope's been
it's
boring for
amazing. She's
years,
boring.
and
Oh my
this
God.
is reinvigorating it.
Yes, and you can tell, like, as an actress, like, in these scenes, she feels more present. She feels more, like, into the dialogue, like, into, like, every scene or piece of scenery she can chew because Gina can chew scenery like nobody else with unapologetically. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell that she's just so into it, and it's still, like, you watch some like, a clip from 1999 and you watch her now, and it's exactly the same.
And
Like,
it's so
it's
much fun.
amazing. It's so much fun.
But
We
so,
need to keep Gina forever,
oh
is all
yeah.
I'm saying.
So she schemed her way into John's house, because her house is flooded. Is that either
Flooded
to
it.
get her a new set, or did she flood it herself? Like it's one of the two.
Probably. I think she flooded herself, and this will give us an excuse to get a new home
Like I'm
for
okay with
Hope.
that, but also I
And
was
I'm good
like,
with it.
hmm, like it's gonna take them 2 months to get you a new house at least, huh? Interesting.
And I love that like no one plays like Boo Boo the Fool better than John. Like when Drake Hogestyn plays like clueless John, like it is so fun to watch because you're just looking at him like, dude, you work for the ISA. You are a
How?
smart man. How does none of this click for you?
I just
you know,
it makes me
like
sad because John was getting smart there at the end. He figured out Kristen. Nicole was Kristen.
yeah.
He's like it was getting the brain, and now he's just back to smelling farts.
But
And it's
no,
just
it's not even that. I
uh,
mean, it's just, but that's kind of how John is, though. Like, he'll get the clue, and it's great, and that's a fact, And then all of a sudden, something else happens, and you're like, how do you not see what's going on right in front of you? Like the candles, the wine. I'm like, how can you not tell that this is not Hope Brady?
right. Like I've never once seen Hope Brady act like this, but okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, you went through this Princess Gina stuff before. Like, what's not clicking?
Right. Like this isn't your first rodeo.
I know. I'm like, what is not clicking? Like, How can you not tell? Like, I really wanna see a scene of Gina going through Hope's wardrobe and literally being disgusted and
Mhm.
just throwing everything out and buying new clothes. Like, that's a scene that I want because that would be so funny. Because she's
Oh,
wearing some nice clothes, she's
they
wearing,
all are
like,
though.
bedazzled suits and, like, I'm just like,
Look at
"Yes."
Nicole. Nicole Walker
And
has
her hair looks
fashion
so
and
good.
hair. Now,
Oh,
what makes me so like curious about this time jump is I want to know the production stuff. Like I want to sit down and talk to Ron or somebody behind the scene, Greg Ming or somebody, and
yes.
just talk about how long ago did you guys start planning this? Like, did you guys start deciding like on Sarah's hair was going to be longer? Did you know like did you guys start like doing all this like was it like 3 months ago or did you just decide oh
Mhm.
shit we have a time jump next week let's do
They
this
need to
like
look different.
yeah
Like,
like, I'm so curious about that aspect of it because everything is so different and
mhm.
it's so entertaining. Uh,
It's
okay,
amazing.
okay. So, Hope, I think the next part that was so dumb about this whole thing was the fact that Gina got Marlena to go away, right? To go
To,
take
like, the
this
middle of nowhere.
job in the
Like,
sticks. And that's where cell phones don't work, the internet doesn't exist,
ugh.
and telephones, their connections are kind of crappy. So the only way to communicate with somebody is via the post.
And you know what? John and Marlena are of a certain age that I can still see them preferring to write letters
I can too.
rather than an email or, like, stuff is convenient, but, like, they seem like the kind of people that prefer the longhand. Like, I'm gonna take my time and write out my thoughts, and it just makes it more personal, you know what I mean? I think they're the type to do that, but John Black not hearing from his Marlena for
Duh.
however long, are you telling me, like, he wouldn't rent a freaking helicopter and
Mhm.
go to wherever the hell she was just to make sure she was okay?
Just check on his doc. That's it.
You know? Like, I mean, I'm reading too much into it, and I'm aware of that, but
But at the same
that was,
time,
like, the one thing I was like, "So he didn't check on her, like, at all?
at all?
Like,
Like
at
he's
all?"
just okay with this?
Like, he was just like, "Yeah, okay, I haven't heard from you even though I've written you letters for however long, and you haven't written me back." Like,
Yeah.
"Okay, but,
Mm,
it's fine."
it's just
I get it.
weird.
It is. But I get it from, like, the storyline perspective. That's what I'm saying, like, Clueless John sometimes is my favorite John, because it's just like, you're so goofy and stupid and adorable, like, how do you not know that something is wrong? You know? But then again, he got fooled by Kristen and a pillow baby for
How
a
long?
very long time.
Like,
Yeah, a very
ugh.
long time, and then a body double, and yeah, very long time.
But whatever. The week ended on the cliffhanger of Marlena walking in on Gina and John
Oh, yes, and she was
drinking,
already over it.
and
I love Marlena.
Marlena
No
was just like,
one does
"Mm,
resting bitch face like Deidre Hall.
nope, not at all."
Oh,
So
it's amazing.
I cannot wait to watch Monday's episode and find out what happened. But so cool. So okay,
It was great.
that's done. Now let's look at this whole like Jennifer woke up from her coma thing. I'm sorry. They can leave.
I know you feel that way. I know you do.
I just don't
I
care.
just I'm in, like, such a weird place with them because, like, Amnesia Jack, I hated. And then, like, they're sweeping all of it under the rug, like, it was only because he had amnesia, whatever, that's not how it works. Whatever, that's fine. But, like, I have such a soft spot for Jack and Jennifer just because I've been watching for so long. And I remember, like, when they got married and, the first time, like, the Loretta, like, that whole thing, like, the Cruise of Deception, and then, when they had Abigail, and then when he left, and then, like, all, the iterations of Jack and Jennifer that have happened after that. I have such a soft spot for them, but at the same time, I'm kind of where you are too. I'm, like, in this weird middle, and I don't know how I feel
So
about it.
Jack and Jennifer were my favorite couple when I started watching the show. And even though I only saw them for like a short amount of time, they were my favorite couple. But I'm bored. I need this to just not. I need a break, and they can come back and do something else. But everything since really since they left, like in 2006, I've just been over. Um, So it
And
is
I
what
think
it
a
is.
lot of that had to do with the writing
Yes.
because that was about the time when days kind of started to, woo, go
Yes.
down a little bit, a lot. And, I mean, and it had a lot to do with the writing. And I think Ron is doing a very good job with finding the heart of them and what made people love them in the first place. And that was that history. Like, they're not trying to like reinvent the wheel. Like, they're just trying to make you like remember. And so, like, when he brought up the fact that like he had their wedding rings made out of a piece of the wreckage from the Loretta, like, I melted a little bit because it was just like, "Oh, I remember that," and, like, everything that happened after that, and so, I mean, it was a great nod to their history, and I think it was a great nod to the history of the show because that is one of the big storylines that a lot of people remember, that cruise of deception. That was a big storyline, and it was very, very well done, back when they had money and they could do stuff like that. So, I don't know, like, I love them, but at the same time, I am kind of over them, but I think it was really smart that they did the time jump kind of from Jennifer's perspective, at least in the beginning when it was like, "How long have I been asleep?" "Well, you've been asleep for a year," and we were all like, "What do you mean a year?" Like, the time jump, you know? And then, "Well, what's going on?" And now JJ's a junkie and Abby's back and, like, all these little things you're kind of finding stuff out when Jennifer does, and I think that was a really smart way to do that instead of just shoving the audience into something that they don't know what's going on. At least you have like a reference point. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. Um, so did you think about the whole, I guess, Lonnie and Kristen nunnery?
I did not know that I needed this friendship until it happened. Like I was seriously just like, wow, this is crazy and weird and wild, but I dig it. Like I did not know that like I needed Kristen and Lonnie to be like even in the same room talking without one of them without like Kristen in handcuffs. You know what I mean? Like the fact that like they're able to find common ground and even just speak to each other, I think is great within itself. But then it's like when she's like, I was thinking of Eli and Kristen just like gave her her hand and like, let's pray. And I was like, this is some crazy shit and I dig it so hard. Like I dig this so hard. Like I don't know why, but I do. I love it. I love it. I don't know why.
Uh,
I do.
no, I feel the same way, 100%. I'm just curious to see kind of where it's going, you
Yeah,
know?
like how do they leave the convent? Do they leave the convent? Does someone find them because Gabby's looking for Kristen? And so if Eli goes to find Kristen and then finds Lonnie in the nunnery, like it's just drama. I love it. And I like that like Kristen and Lonnie kind of have things that they can find common ground on. Like they both, lost a child. They both lost what, the loves of their lives, sort of thing. And I mean, Kristen's probably just in the nunnery because, of what happened, what we're going to talk about later. So she's trying to lay low so no one can find her. But I mean, I just like that they're both kind of hiding from the world after these like great losses. And so they just found something that they can kind of latch onto in each other. And I like it. I like that a lot. I wonder how that's going to play out when all this is over too. And, Lonnie will probably eventually go back to being a cop and Kristen will just be Kristen. So I wonder how that works.
Right. And I'm just curious to see like what's going to be the catalyst of it or what's going to cause it and also like how close their bond is now going to make things, right?
Yeah.
Like it's really an interesting point that I never thought that we'd see. So
Yeah.
I like the way that they can shake things up. Now, do you think that I don't care that Kristen killed Haley. I'm
I really
sorry.
don't
I
either. I
don't.
I didn't care one way or another about Haley, to be honest. I didn't dislike her. I didn't hate her. I didn't love her.
Exactly. She just was
I
there. And
She was a good character. She was like, I kind of liked her with JJ. I liked her better with Trip.
uh-huh.
But, I mean, I didn't feel really anything one way or the other about that she was dead. It made sense, when, JJ's a druggie and I'm like, well, why? Because Jennifer's in a coma? Like, come
Yeah,
on.
that didn't make
And then
sense
it
to me,
was
but
like, and then it added
no.
that other layer and it was like, oh,
Okay.
oh, okay. That makes more
That
sense.
makes
That's the
sense.
the second girlfriend he's had that's died. I could see that.
Yeah, and it's fine. Like I could see that it makes sense. And then also Eve was now arrested for her mom getting hurt. Like he's just had some choices.
Where
Um,
is Teresa?
right.
Jen Lilly, I need you back on the show.
Please.
Just throwing that out
God,
there. I love you.
so
I
much.
love your Hallmark movies. Your babies are adorable. Love you.
Just come back full
Just
time.
come back, please.
It's okay.
I mean, even if it's only for 6 months, just come
Yeah,
back
just six
because
months.
I miss you. I miss you. Yeah.
Um, Justin moving on with Kayla after Will quote unquote murdered Adrian is everything I wanted it to be.
Yeah. Like, I don't dislike them. I don't hate them. I don't love them. I'm just kind of like seeing where it goes. But like, that was super quick. Like, super quick.
Well, we don't know the timeline.
Well, you
That's why I
haven't
gotta
seen
wait to see.
Monday. That's
No, I
why
have
you
not
haven't
seen
seen
timeline.
Monday because
No.
they talk about it a little bit more in
Oh,
there.
okay.
Sorry,
No,
getting ahead of myself.
you're
But
fine. So it was
no,
a
but
quick
I mean,
turnaround.
yeah, yeah, it was. I mean, yeah,
Interesting. But I mean,
yeah,
Kayla hasn't gotten laid in like
dude,
three
that poor
years,
woman.
4 years.
Like, no
So
wonder she's such a bad doctor. She doesn't have an outlet. Like, my
exactly.
goodness.
So now she's got an outlet, Justin, and I'm okay with it.
And I really like that Wally and Mary Beth get to work together again because I low key love them on General Hospital.
I didn't
I
see
did.
them on this, but I've always thought that they had just God, this is weird to say, good adult chemistry.
Adult
Like
chemistry.
like not
They have a
romantic
very
chemistry,
like
but just
easy vibe with each other.
yeah, kind of
And I mean,
that.
I could have them as a couple on the show. I wouldn't care. You know, like they're they're one of those like new couples that got thrown together and I was like, "Oh,
Hmm,
okay."
okay.
Like, "Okay, let's see where this goes. That's interesting."
Um, do, do, do. I'm curious to see if Brady turned to a substance for the loss of his child.
I don't know, because I mean, when he was in that, by the way, that whole meeting scene that they had was really, really good. It
Yes.
was really good. And I mean, he said he didn't want to drink. He kept talking about a drink.
Hmm.
I don't think he said anything about drugs, but I mean, drinking is more of his thing.
Drinking is more of his thing. He did a little bit of drugs, but drinking's been
But
more
yeah,
what he does.
drinking's more of his shtick.
And didn't. I don't think he slipped up, but I'm curious. If
Yeah.
that's why he felt the
How
need to
did he deal with it?
go to the meetings, and how did he deal with it, and what did he
Yeah.
do? Because Brady's not one to just deal with things.
No,
Um,
Brady's a crier, and then he does bad things.
so,
I
what
love
do
him
you
clean
think?
shaven, by the way.
Right. What do you
He looks
think of
so
this
good.
whole baby debacle? Right. So Sarah is saying that she's raising her and Xander's baby, but Sarah believes that it's her and Eric's baby. Do you think
But
that
it
is
could
her and
be
Eric's
Rex's.
baby? Because it could be Rex's baby. Also, it could also be Kristen and Brady's baby in my
Right.
head because I feel like something happened to the baby and Xander switched them without telling
See,
Kristen or Sarah.
what I think, okay, so if there is a baby switch, I think the most stupid thing they could do is have it not to be a baby switch because that's what everyone is thinking it is. But if it is a baby switch, what I think happened, and I think this is why Xander is the CEO of Titan, is because Victor never wanted Brady with Kristen, ever. He didn't want any ties to that woman, you know, as it says. So if something happened to Sarah's baby, I would not put it past Victor to go to Xander and be like, listen, if we take Kristen and Brady's baby, Brady has no reason to be with Kristen. Maggie is happy. Sarah is happy. You get the girl. And I'll reward you in the only way that you've ever wanted and to make you part of my family and part of my business.
Hmm. I can see it. I've got a
I can see
different
it.
theory, but I can't speak about it on the air. But
Right, we'll talk
I've
later.
I've got a different theory about why he got CEO. But that would work. Like I could see that being the reason.
Because Victor and Xander are very chummy
They're
now.
very
A
close,
lot more chummy than they were.
and that's why this whole Sierra element is super interesting too, because now Sierra's warming her way into Titan. I don't like that she's trying to. Uh, okay, I don't like Sierra's story right now.
I just don't see how she thinks that she can pull one on Victor
Victor,
Kiriakis.
and
Like,
she's
he
not.
loves you, girl, but eventually he ain't stupid. Like,
No,
eventually he will have you followed. He'll know that you're going to the prison to go see Ben, and then what?
exactly,
But, it's
exactly.
fine. Like, I just like the fact that Sierra is still 100% team Ben. Like, she doesn't believe that he killed that his sister and all that stuff, and those scenes in the prison. Oh, I love them. I love them. I love them. You know, but I'm just like, girl, think with your brain. Like, you are going after your grandfather, by the way, who loves you a lot. Like, he loves you more than he loves his own kids. Like, screw Philip. Like, we don't give a crap about Philip. He loves Sierra more than anybody else in his family, other than Bo. But Bo's unfortunately not with us anymore. So,
Rest in
like, he
peace.
put all that love that he had for Bo and like put it all on Sierra, right?
Yep.
I don't like her storyline, but I like the fact that she's in doing something with Titan, that she has a job, you
Exactly.
know,
Like I like that
you
she has a
know.
job, but here's the thing: is I hate that it all revolves around Ben. You know,
Yeah.
like I wish it was, hey, I was getting this job, hey, I'm doing all this, and now that I've got all this, I want to try and help Ben. But I hate that Ben is the purpose of it because that makes me think that once that's wrapped up, that she's not gonna have that outlet, you know? And I want her to stay in Titan. I want her to run Titan. I think there's a lot of interesting stories that can develop from her being in the business world and
Yeah.
then being a Kyriakis and like doing all that. But I don't know.
Well,
Um,
because I mean, I think her theory of Xander killing Jordan is dumb.
I don't think he
Like,
did.
Xander couldn't even choke Ben, a
Who do you
grown man.
think killed Jordan?
See, that's where I'm like, I don't know, because like part of me wants to say that like Clyde somehow got to her from the inside, which he could. I mean, he still has tentacles,
Yeah,
supposedly everywhere. So that wouldn't shock me. But then I know some other things that are, and
I
so
know.
I'm like, oh, probably wouldn't work. Like, I honestly don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
unless like Sierra had like a blackout PTSD moment and killed her and just doesn't remember,
I
which would be soapy
it's
and
just
good.
it's very interesting.
I don't know.
I don't too much care right now that Chad and Abigail are back. They're back. It's cool. Whatever. Like I'll wait and see what their story is.
It was a well-needed break, is all I'm gonna say.
Yes. I
But
think it's a
I'm glad
break.
they're
Reset
back.
them. I don't hate that they're back. I don't love that they're
Right.
back. They're just back. And I think part of the reason why I feel the way that I do is I didn't really watch Chad Nappy in Paris. I'm sorry. I just,
It
I
was
didn't
actually
care.
really cute. You
I
should
watched the
watch it.
first two episodes and
Like, the
that's
sets
where
alone,
I
like,
tap out.
were great. But I mean, I'm glad to have them back. Like, I like Abigail's family dynamic.
Hmm.
Like, I think she is the missing piece of that family, and when she's not there, it just feels weird to me because like
100%.
she is her father's daughter, she is her mother's daughter.
Well,
You know,
and this
the
Kate
fact that
Mansi
she's
is
oh yeah,
playing her the way that I've always felt that Jack and Jennifer's daughter would be played. You know,
oh,
like she is, and like I
a
said,
tough firecracker, you know,
Jack and
in the
Jennifer
family
were
business.
my favorite when I started. Abby was my favorite, played by, oh God, what was her name?
No
Pretty Little
idea.
Liar girl.
There is no Abigail before Kate Manzi for me.
There's
So
that one,
sorry.
and I loved her.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
She was my girl, and
She's
then
blonde.
she's gone. So it's fine. Yeah, yeah, she was a little bit. I mean,
She was.
my issue with her was that she was sleeping with Max, and that was kind of weird because they're, family ish.
Well,
But
adopted, but yeah, it's a soap.
it's it's still
You can get
it'll
around
work.
that. It was weird.
Um, but I don't know. I'm excited to see what her story is now. She's going to be a cub reporter and help him out.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that, I guess, develops. And Stefano or Steffi appears to be here, and I'm so excited. So excited for so many reasons for that.
I know. I can't wait for Gina to finish her painting.
It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so. Good.
Like you said on the TBS podcast, if you know, you know. If you
If
don't, that's fine.
you don't,
You'll
well,
know.
you'll know. And when you know,
You know.
laughs and mentions. That's all I'm gonna
Uh,
say because I hate you people.
it's going to be
Um,
so interesting. I honestly though, I cannot wait to see how this plays out, to be honest, because it's so
interesting.
unexpected
Yes.
that it's just I'm curious. I am so just like low key curious as to how this is going to play out and for how long this is going to play out.
Yep.
Like I'm honestly just like this is like you want to talk about an umbrella story? This is a
The
huge
umbrella
umbrella
story.
story.
Eh,
Like
I
I
need Gina to be Gina for a long time.
please.
Um, I need Greta to come back,
Yes,
played
Gina
by
Tognoni
Gina
come
Tonioni.
through. Yes.
Um, I need just just more. Like that's it.
Well,
I
because
need
I mean,
more.
okay. So when Gina was pretending to be Hope the first time, when she had the real Hope locked up in that turret, the only people that figured it out was freaking Greta and Sean Douglas.
Oh,
Like
Sean Douglas.
Sean D was like, well, back when they called him Sean Douglas, but I mean, he was like, I don't know what's wrong with you, but like, you're not my mom. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, he didn't like say you're somebody else, but like, he knew. Like, he just got the vibe. Like, you're not my mom. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, maybe that's why no one else knows. Like, we need Brandon Beamer back on this show to
I
just
think
look at Gina and be like, you're not my mom.
I'm pretty sure
Who
he
are you?
filmed
I
recently.
know. I'm pretty sure he did
So
too.
I'm just saying
So,
I need it. Need it. Plus, yeah, y'all know Sean Douglas is my all-time favorite character. So it is what it is. I'm so excited to see where the storyline goes, see
mhm.
all the show because it's exciting to have Days back.
Oh
This is the
God.
most excited I've been for Days of Our Lives and since honestly, and this is bad, but right after I started, when it was the oh god, I forget what the promo tagline was, but it was like the return of the Damaras and the Damaras secret when we had those god awful letters between Santos and Colleen before we knew it was
Oh
Santos and
yeah.
Colleen. When we were just under that, like it was a big mystery for the Damaras in that summer, I was all about it, and that was the most excited I think I've been for them in a while. So I'm excited to see where the storyline goes.
Yeah. I mean, like I tweeted a few. I want to say like 6 months ago, back when Days was like it was getting back to what it used to be, you know. And I was like, this is my show. Like it is back. Like you guys don't understand like how long it's been since I've been able to look at Days and like recognize it for what it
Mhm.
was. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no alien twins coming out of a flying saucer dressed in tinfoil. Like no white elephants. Just
Oh, fuck
it's.
those elephants.
I know it was
I
awful,
forgot about
but
that. Oof.
ugh, it's hard to let go. But I mean, this is the days that I remember. Like, it's a little campy. It's very soapy. It's dramatic. It's funny. Like has twists that you will not see
Ever see
coming.
coming.
Like this is my show again,
Hmm.
and I am so excited. Like I am so excited. Oh, I'm so ready.
Well, I'm just glad to have a podcast where we can talk about something in a positive manner
I
on
know.
a weekly basis and not be dragging it for all it's worth. I'm not going to say that there's not going to be things that we're going to go
Oh,
into and deep dive and
yeah.
analyze and argue about and dislike, but overall, my feelings when watching this first week of the Days reboot was my show's back,
Yes. Oh,
and I'm glad.
oh, real quick, can we talk about how when Gabby and Eli were making out
Oh
on the couch and they
my
nearly killed
god!
Julie? I was laughing so hard. I
How?
really was. I
So
was like, what on
this
earth?
was brought up on Twitter and they're on other podcasts, but why do you have that app open?
Yeah.
Like, what? Why are you just like, you know what, baby? I'm getting hot and heavy. Let's bring up your grandmother's heart real quick.
You know what
Like,
though? If I was Gabby, I would forever have a hatred of that bitch, so I would just use it to fuck with her every now and again.
you know what? Fuck
I'm
it.
just saying, like, I would, because I am petty. Like, she starts walking down the street and I would just like bump it up a little bit just to watch her squirm. Like,
Just a little bit.
just a little.
I don't know what it is about this pacemaker, but it just keeps randomly doing
I
this
know.
to me. Like, Julie, calm down.
I
Also, the
know.
fact that
Oh,
you're going to tell me that Gabby didn't touch that pacemaker in a year,
I know. Well, I mean, why would she though? Because, she got what she wanted,
true,
supposedly.
supposedly. And so we'll wrap up in just a second, but what do you think of Gabby and Eli as a couple?
Mm. I mean,
I don't know.
okay. Like, it's a
I'm
mean
glad.
like
I'm
it's a
glad
means to an end.
Eli has a story.
I mean, they're basically they say they're happy, but they're not. Like, he still loves Lonnie, she still loves Stefan, but then they look at each other and they're like, "Yes, we're so happy, like, let's go have sex," and it's like, you're filling a void, but it doesn't last because you're not truly happy,
Exactly.
It's like you're with the person you're with, you're not with the person that you want, you
Exactly.
know? And it's just it is what it is, it's a means to an end, we all know good things happen to those who wait,
And
so
good things are coming
good
to
things will
both.
happen.
Ah, I'm so
We
excited.
just gotta wait.
So excited.
No.
Okay. Well, in our take tradition, it's time to rate the week before we
Oh,
wrap up. And it's so awesome to
I
do this
know.
rating because I'm just excited to hear what you say. And I don't know, but I think we're both gonna have really high scores. So you go first.
Yeah.
What do you give this week?
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Oh, okay.
Like, this is my show again. Like, when I say that I've been watching my whole life, like, I mean, like, my entire life. So, like, the bring back to the Loretta, like, having, you know, Stefano around
Uh-huh.
in some way, shape, or form, you know? Um, Gina and, John, Roman, like, the men are crying and not the women. Like, finally, please, thank you. I'm sick of having weepy women on the screen. And that baby is so freaking cute. And
Mickey,
having Mickey, and having Victor have like an aneurysm every time someone calls her Mickey makes me laugh
it's so
because
funny.
he is low key jealous of a dead man and it cracks me up.
I'm not gonna lie. I was with Victor when Maggie was like, "Yeah, I was
I
just
was in
in
bed with
bed with
Mickey.
Mickey," and
I know.
I was like, "The fuck did you just
I was
what?
like, who?
You
Like,
doing what?
no.
Like what kind of weird, creepy ghost sex thing are you into now, woman?" And then it's like,
Oh, it's
"Oh,
the baby.
okay, the baby, cute
And
baby."
Daddy Xander, yes, please.
Yes, he's so good.
Yes, please.
So very cool. Well, for me, it's also an 8. Uh, Oh my God, this show.
So good.
It's
It's so
watchable.
good.
It's great. Everything about it. Like, I love the cast, I love the crew, I love the writing, I love the dialogue. Now, the dialogue is why. So, the reasons I'm not giving it a 9 or higher, the dialogue, because I don't, for me, dialogue needs to sound like normal people. Like, it needs to sound like a normal conversation,
Yeah.
something that I would imagine me and my friends having. Cool. This was not. This was
And you're
hit
in
your
like
head
a
over
weird
with
like
exposition.
juxtaposition. Yeah, because they can't afford the flashbacks.
Nope. So
Not
it's
as
just
many as they
like
need.
it was just like, yeah, so a year ago, or
Yeah.
yeah, don't you
Can you
remember
believe
that
it's been a year?
it's been a year? And then like I was like, yeah, this isn't this isn't normal. Like that's not how people talk. So that kind of took it away from me. I there's other small little things that did it for me, but here's the thing. I know a 9 and 10 weeks are coming. I can
Yes.
feel them
Oh, they're
and
coming.
we're
I'm so
so
excited.
close to it that I'm good with it. I know this first week's an 8, but that does not take away from the fact that this is the best this show's been in forever, and I'm so
A really
excited
long
to
time.
see what happens next. So,
Yeah. I mean, this has literally been the best this week has probably been the best week this show's had in a very long time. I will give like the one caveat to like the week that Ben had Abigail in the cabin. Like all that stuff was so good. You know, like that was actually like some really good soap. But I mean, you take that week away, this is probably the best week that Days has had in about 10, 15 years.
Easily,
Like
easily.
I am so, so excited. And my hopes are so high and I can't like have low expectations
Well,
because I am so excited.
here's the thing. My expectations were met with a time jump.
Yes.
Like, this is everything I wanted it to
Exceeded.
be and more.
Yes.
And I'm just excited to see what happens next. And I'm here for the ride. And that's that on that. So, any final thoughts before we wrap up? Are you good?
Yeah. Hey,
Okay.
Evan. I see you, cutie, trying to get your man. You're so cute. I love you.
Yes. It's
I
gonna be
love
so
him.
excited.
I'm
But
so excited.
next week we will have more to talk about. We have hopefully more people on this podcast, and it's going to be a very exciting ride. So please stay tuned. Let us know what you liked. Let us know what you disliked. Let us know what you want us to discuss more of, because we are here for you guys. One of the cool things about this podcast is we're going to try and do it live. So we'll kind of see what
Every
happens, but
week?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm throwing it out
Killing
there.
me.
Um, but here's the thing. Follow us on Twitter at Artake Media. Follow myself at SoapWikiJohn, Jenna at Jenna TV Lover. We are going to be tweeting about the show often. You'll hear us discuss our plans for this show, when we're going to go live, when we're not going to go live, when Jenna yells at me, using the hashtag
Yeah.
OurTakeDays. And you can follow the podcast at ourtakemedia.com. We will be on Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, etc. ASAP, because they pretty much know me by heart at this point. And it is a thing. Until next time, bye bye.
Bye.
God, that was so much fun.